Over the years, you have known me as the stadium guy, but the world of Google Earth is much bigger than just arenas. From abandoned places, natural formations, unusual buildings, and places that look like and I have you covered. Let's get into it. Abandoned sites. Weirton, West Virginia, steel mill. I first found this place when I was looking for weird football fields, as the old Weir High School field was left to rot behind an abandoned factory. Then I zoomed out and discovered the old Rust Belt town of Weirton, West Virginia, located way up north in West Virginia on the tip of this peninsula thing. Weirton's proximity to Pittsburgh helped it grow and kicked off in 1909 when Ernest Weir put a steel mill here. The plant continued strong until the 1980s, but then saw a decline in the early 2000s when the American steel industry nosedived. The main mill closed, and then in 2024, now owned by Cleveland Cliffs, the Weirton Tin Works were finally shut down. This huge plant sits rusting on the banks of the Ohio River. However, in 2023, Form Energy started making batteries at the old mill site. Yes, batteries. Speaking of steel, abandoned aircraft carrier, Newport News, Virginia. It may be likely that steel from the Weirton mill ended up here in Newport News as part of this abandoned aircraft carrier that is in the process of being scrapped or awaiting disposal. I was able to identify this ship by the number on the side. This is the USS Enterprise. No, not the space one. Its fate is not known. It could be dismantled or, like the USS Oriskany, sunk to form a reef. Identifying this other ship was a little bit harder, but this is the USS John C. Stennis, CVN 74. And this ship over here is the USS George Washington, which completed its overhaul a year ago. Though it looks abandoned or being scrapped, the Stennis was launched in 1993 and is being completely updated and should be finished by 2026. This next ship, however, will more than likely not be getting refurbished. The SS United States, pictured in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. These Google images are looking like your mom's dating profile right now. Old, filtered all to hell, and a massive misrepresentation. Google Earth has the SS United States here in Philadelphia, but the ship was purchased in 2024 by Okaloosa County, Florida, and is slated to be sunken to create a reef and diving site in that gulf between Mexico and America. The SS United States was launched in 1952 and was a premier transatlantic vessel until 1969, when jet planes made ocean liners obsolete. Ironically, it was built in Newport News, where it also sat abandoned from 1969 to 1992. Many plans for the ship came and went, including a proposal to convert it to a floating casino. The ship was then towed to Turkey to be refurbished and restored, much like a hair transplant. They found out it was filled with asbestos and went bankrupt, removing it from the ship. In 1996, the ship was seized by the US Marshals, and then it was taken to Philadelphia. The ship then sat there for 28 years, changing hands and being fought over by competing interests. Finally, it was purchased again and sent to Mobile, Alabama, where it is now, with a plan to sink it, which will happen off the destined Fort Walton Beach sometime in 2025, we think. If the SS United is headed towards a watery grave, this next one, well, it's too late. Boat underwater, Tokyo, Japan. Or is it? I researched this image of what looks like a sunken cruise ship in Oshima, Japan, and though there are many theories abound, it appears that the image is simply a mistake by Google, and it was caused by two overlapping images. No source could identify the ship in question, nor definitively identify this as a wreck, unless the source was "trust me, bro." That being said, don't believe everything you see in Google Earth, but there are actual shipwrecks on the site. MS World Discoverer, Tulagi, Solomon Islands. This is a real shipwreck, as it is the remains of the German cruise ship MS Discoverer, which was built in 1973, and then at the ripe age of 27, it hit an uncharted reef off the Solomon Islands and sank like our economy. Now, where the ship lies isn't where the accident occurred. The captain decided to ditch the boat here in nearby Roderick Bay, where it's become a tourist attraction where other ships can cruise by and point and laugh. The MS World Discoverer fofoed on a natural formation, so let's take a look at some of those in Google Earth. Weird natural formations. The Ret Structure, Mauritania. The Ret Structure is a circular geological feature in the Sahara Desert in Mauritania. It is massive, over 25 miles or 40 kilometers across. It was formed by igneous intrusion deforming the overlying sedimentary rock layers in a circular format, with the oldest layers being in the center. This hole is huge, but not as big as your mom. They believe this thing is at least 94 million years old, which is still younger than your mom. It is called the world's eye, but this next one is a different body part, lips in Sudan. This image has been manipulated and adjusted in other sites, but it appears we have found a giant set of lips in the Sudan, an oasis, if you will. And please finish this video before you call her. The huge set of lips are an illusion because this really is a giant steamy mound. This is a natural formation that may look like one body part, but this next one is the whole thing. Broken Face, Antarctica. Just off the southern ocean tip of Antarctica is a snow-covered rock formation that looks like a giant ape face. There is clearly no street view to tell us what this thing looks like from the ground, but it is something that is interesting about Antarctica besides ice, penguins, and frozen tundra. Now, let's explore the opposite of this. Gates of Hell, Turkmenistan. This is the Darvaza Gas Crater, also known as the Gates of Hell. I did not say Darvaza right, probably, more than likely. It's a natural grass crater. This one in particular has been fenced off as it is dangerous and gives off a distinct odor. Other craters in the area are actively burning. It's not fully understood how these craters were formed nor how they came to be on fire, and some suspect that the Soviets lit these in order to limit the gas emissions. It's now a tourist destination, though huffing gas coming straight out of a big circular opening doesn't exactly sound like my idea of a good time. So these were weird natural formations in Google Earth. Now let's look at weird and funny buildings. Mill Creek Mall Complex in Erie, Pennsylvania. Opened in 1975, Mill Creek Mall certainly has an unusual shape, as it's long been an urban legend that it's shaped like a gun pointed directly at downtown Erie and that the mafia designed it. Yes, gangsters are always sending messages with malls shaped like firearms, let me tell you, in the rough streets of Erie, Pennsylvania. I think it's just a coincidence, but this thing does indeed look like a gun, even has a trigger too. Apparently there was an incident in 2022 where a massive fight broke out and a shot was fired into the ceiling. I guess that's irony, right? If this last one looks like a giant gun, this next one is way cooler. Parkland High School, Allentown, Pennsylvania. Hey, what a segue. No, this is not that Parkland High School. This one is in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And yes, it totally looks like a Millennium Falcon. The original high school opened in 1945, but in 1999 it was replaced with this layout, which school officials say was not deliberate. Though come on, dude, there's no way this was an accident. You can spot the resemblance at ludicrous speed. But on the other side of the planet, there is a building chasing this one, the Aarhus Theater, Denmark. Aarhus in the middle of the street. This theater building was built in 1900, so there is no way that the Danes knew it was shaped like a star destroyer. It is still being used and is the largest provincial theater in the country. Do you like this building shape? Then mark it down for later. Let's move on to interesting places before we get banned, shall we? The UPS Worldport in Louisville, Kentucky. This is the UPS Worldport in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a facility located inside the Louisville airport. It's not interesting itself, but what is interesting is this patch of grass here that seems very out of place. It's actually an indigenous people burial ground, and Kentucky law states that you cannot disturb a cemetery. So they built the Worldport around it. Apparently, it's very sacred. They don't let employees near it, and the tribe maintains it and mows the grass themselves. I believe it's the Iroquois. Probably a good idea to leave the bodies alone. You don't want bad luck around an airport. Planes fly around the Worldport, but let's see where the cars go. The Nardo Ring, Nardo, Italy. This is not the drop zone, this is the Nardo Ring, a 7-mile long race and test track in Nardo, Italy. It was featured in an episode of Top Gear.
With the sighting lap over, we were told to put some distance between ourselves and go for it.
The ring is huge. Its circular shape and banking allows for cars to get wide open and test their top speed. Also, the name has nothing to do with Nardo Wick. Speaking of interesting rings, I found one down under. The Brick Pit Ring Walk, Sydney, Australia. So this used to be a place where they would excavate dirt for the making of bricks, but then it got shut down in 1940 and became a pond. Then they discovered some rare frog in the water, and so they built this walking park above it in 2005. This thing is very tall, a full 61 feet above the ground. Hopefully during the summertime, it doesn't get too buggy, eh? The park is colorful and looks like a good place to just walk in circles. This next place, however, is all about flying, sort of. The Davis-Monthan Air Base, Tucson, Arizona. This is one of my favorite places in Google Earth, the Davis-Monthan Air Base in Tucson, better known as the Boneyard. It was established in 1940, and the desert climate is ideal for storing airplanes to help fight corrosion and rust, as there is very little moisture in the air. There are more than 4,000 military planes here, and it's not actually a place where planes come to die. About 1/3 of them are refurbished and returned to service, while the others are stored or used for parts. I could honestly explore this place all day. It's freaking massive, and the planes are really cool. This is sky-oriented, but the next place, well, it's a boat, sort of. The Woa Hong Kong. This is crazy, a boat in the middle of a city, but it's not a boat at all. It's a shopping mall. Opened in 1996, this quote-unquote boat, named the Whampoa, is over 360 feet long and contains over 300 shops, which include restaurants and even a small theme park. Boat-themed, I would assume. This was an old shipyard, but the area was made residential in 1985, and this mall was built as an homage to the past. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually float. Now, what you came for in this video. Hilariously shaped things. Cedar Creek Golf Course at Beavers Bend, Broken Bow, Oklahoma. This is Cedar Creek Golf Course and features some of the largest holes in all of Oklahoma. Well, until your mom visits. These are holes 1 and 2. Rumor has it most men cannot find the clubhouse and wouldn't know what to do if they could. This course brags that it has tight fairways and well-maintained greens, having received a 4-star rating by Golf Digest magazine. If you play here, make sure your strokes are good and that you not only play your putts well, but especially your woods. Pulson Sports Complex, Pulson, Montana. This is the Pulson Sports Complex in Pulson, Montana, and it looks like this is 2 small softball fields, but maybe after the action heats up, it gets a little bigger. Not sure who designed this dirt path here, but surely this was intentional. His name was probably Rod Johnson. I hope everyone here goes deep. Spaceport, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. This is the Spaceport, a huge building in the town of Truth or Consequences. That is the name of the town. This building is for aircraft to go where no men have gone before. Anal? No. Space, as this is the launching port for Virgin Galactic Space Tourism Wing. Look, I have a bunch of jokes on how this looks like a giant cooch, but I can't tell them all at once, I have to spread them out. The spaceport was opened in 2006 and its first rocket launch happened later that year, and I wonder if the rocket was red. Ormo Park, Ormo, Australia. Now we have 2 cricket/rugby grounds in Australia that are so close they are rubbing together almost uncomfortably. Now you might smell a musty odor here, but at least the players aren't getting shafted by the refs. So apparently it's pretty common to put two rugby pitches or cricket grounds together like that, but the Aussies just had to add this part here because, you know, fuck it. Century Village Deerfield Beach Resort, Deerfield Beach, Florida. Well, if Cedar Creek Golf Course looks like, well, you know, vaginal, then Century Village Resort certainly brings stiff competition. This is a pretty nice sized golf course. However, my girlfriend told me that this was a cute size and that the bigger golf courses hurt. Along the shaft, it looks pretty lumpy though. They might want to have that looked at by a doctor. And finally, we have Legacy Park, Brambleton, Virginia. This is Legacy Park in Brambleton, Virginia, and it might take you a while to see it, but once you do, you cannot unsee it. The main area of focus here is obviously the park, which is an above average size park, and you can see the design starts out here at the pond and then works its way all the way to the tip where you have this fountain leading right into this building here. Yes, this is real. It's a fountain just spewing its energy and water all over this building's face. Now moving back to the base, which looks a little overgrown, there is an elementary school across the street, somehow fitting. Now let's turn on street view. This thing has veins. I want to know what dickhead designed this. I honestly want to shake his hand. Well, after he washes it, of course. His hand. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out jksprints.com and use my code 5points at checkout and get $5 off your order. I hope you enjoy.